Right, well, last week was busy, but very productive. This week has been training. Another busy 8 days to come before the international break, but I'd imagine that the training ground has been buzzing over the last few days.
Yeah, it's been a great vibe around the training ground. Obviously, we had a solid week last week with 3 good results. You know, two good results away from home and decent end to the week with the 5-0 win over Preston.
When you've had a week like that, although sometimes it's nice to get back on the training ground, actually as players, you just want to get out as quickly as possible and play another game because the momentum seems to be really firing.
Yeah, of course. When obviously results go your way like that and the performances are good, you know, you want the next one to come quick and fast, you know, so you can hopefully keep that run going. And you know, if we do that for the next three games, you know, we've had a great month.
Then there's an international break as well. I mean, it breaks up the season, but this spell between the two international breaks, it could be, you know, if you can repeat or close to what you did against, you know, in the last 3 games and the next set of 3 games. I mean, that would be a very positive period to go into the next break.
Yeah, of course. You know, even off the back end of last season, we've kept that kind of good run going. We had obviously, I think it was 7 wins out of 9 at the back end of last season, and you know we followed up with a good start this season. So you know, we obviously take each game as it comes, and hopefully we keep that run going as we have, and we get a good solid 3 games, and then even after the international break, we kick on again.
Quite a bit of competition with places, with most people being fit. Obviously, we know about 1 or 2 injuries, but do you see that as a good incentive? Do you rather have challenge for your position in the starting lineup rather than know that you're going to walk into that dressing room and your name be on the list?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's healthy for the team to have you know, competition for places, because that means everyone's got to be at it every single day in training, and then you know everyone's got to fight for their shirt and keep their shirt. So you know, it's only a good thing for the club to have so many players fit and ready to go at any given moment. So yeah, I'd say it's a good thing.
You've had to be adaptable as a player, positionally wise. I mean, you know, obviously you've always said that you prefer it in the middle, maybe, but you've had to play fullback. Has that been a good thing at you sort of at this career as you sort of starting off the career to be able to play in other positions, or you know, is it sometimes you think, I don't want to be a journeyman, I don't want to be a sort of a utility man. I want to be really settling into a position. Yeah,
of course. You know, ideally you want to have an established position, but to be able to play more than one, obviously, is only good for me. You know, if the manager ever needs, if someone's injured, etc., and he needs someone to play, you know, you still can get an option to play in a different position if you wasn't chosen in your established position. So it can only work well for me, and it works well for me with the fact that I've learnt more about the game in other positions as well. So it only works in my favour.
Are there certain positions that seem to relate, you know, sort of central midfield and fullback? Quite often there's a bit of interchanging with that happens, isn't it? Do they relate to each other at all as positions?
I think from playing centre mid and growing up as a centre midfielder, being able to play right back as well, you know, you see a lot of centre midfielders end up on right back, left back for whatever reason, I don't know. But when you're at right back, you're very comfortable on the ball, having played centre midfield, where you know you're always getting most of the ball. So like I said, it probably only works in my favour and in anyone's favour that if you make the transition from centre mid to right back. But nowadays, you know, fullbacks, you've got to be very fit, especially with the way we play. And, you know, being a centre midfielder, you're kind of seen as the engine room, so you have to be fit naturally anyway. So I think, the transition is probably very easy.
And Wolverhampton Wanderers, just a quick look at their last week or so, really. I mean, the manager was talking about it. They lose at home to Barnsley. They go to Newcastle and win in the League Cup, maybe slightly different. But does that sort of sum up to a certain extent what can happen in this championship? That on any given day, if you're not on your game, you can get beaten. If you're on your game, you can go get a win anyway.
Yeah, of course. You know, we've seen it many times over the years as well. And we've seen it this season. Like even the big teams, they've come down from the Prem. And it's not going to be a walk in the park for them. You know, it probably comes as a shock to the system for some of them teams, but you know we've seen it throughout the championship over many years that no game is an easy game, and anyone can beat anyone in this league. So yeah, it probably sums up the championship perfectly with the fact you've seen so many teams this season. They win a couple, then all of a sudden they lose a couple, and then you're like, wow, they was on a great run, but then they've lost, and then they win again, and you know, it happens in this league all the time.
And walking out onto, I mean, there's so many grounds at this level now that are, you know, either ex-Premier League grounds have just been developed to a big stage, but walking out on a Villa Park, walking out on a Molineux that has got such history, does it give you an extra lift as a player?
Yeah, of course, you want to be playing in the big stadiums and in front of big crowds. That's what, you know, as a footballer, that's what you want to do, and probably what you've dreamed of doing from when you was young. So it's always a nice buzz and a nice feeling playing in some of the big stadiums away from home.
And you've been around now a little while here at the club. What do you get at the sense where this squad in comparison, is it in comparison to the squad that say finished 5th, got into the playoffs a couple of years ago? Do you get that same feeling about this bunch?
Yeah, I think there's that unity now within the dressing room. Obviously took a while for the new players to settle in.
Yeah.
But I feel that there's that unity now within the dressing room, similar to the previous squad that we're referring to. And on the pitch as well, I think the performances are matching them performances from the last squad. You know, I think if you look back, I think we were probably in a similar position, if not a better position now in the league at this point, when that team finished 5th. But you know, as long as we keep everybody fit and healthy and playing well, there's nothing stopping us from pushing even automatics, you know, and then even playoffs if that doesn't work. So there's nothing stopping this team at the moment.
You believe that? I mean, that's the target that everyone sets. I mean, Dean said in his press conference, you start the season, we want to finish top, he says. I mean, you know, you've got to aim for right at the top, because if you don't aim for that, then you're selling yourself short, potentially.
Yeah, of course, you know, every season you want to be a champion, you know, and if it doesn't work out being the winners, then you know you look for the next place down and so forth. So, you know, I believe, and I think everyone believes here, that we've got a great chance, and you know, everyone's keeping their feet on the ground, and no one's getting ahead of themselves, and take each game one at a time, and you know, as long as we have been performing well, who knows what can happen.
And if just finally, if someone does get a little bit ahead of themselves, a little bit overconfident, are there members of the squad that can knock a bit of reality into you, a bit of sense into you?
Yeah, no, there's definitely enough players in the team that can do that. You know, old pros and even the young pros, you know, with experienced heads. So there's plenty of players that can do that. But like I said, this group's a very, very tight knit group now, and everyone just works hard for each other, and you know, each and every day, and I think you can see that on the pitch now.